Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, I'm Emily. I love macrame, thrifting, and a good DIY project. I am so excited about today's video. I have been wanting to make a macrame market bag for ages, and truly I just needed to kind of teach myself how to do it and so that I could teach you. I felt intimidated by it because I've never made a bag before, but guys, it was so much easier than I thought. I also tried to make it the easiest way possible so that anybody could do it. So if you are a first-time macrameer, I think you might be able to make something like this. Before I jump into anything, if you're not already, feel free to follow me on Instagram at EmilyFaith22. Also, if this is one of your first times doing macrame, why don't you go ahead and check out my 3 basic macrame knot tutorial. All you're really gonna need to know is how to do the square knot. So why don't you go watch that, learn how to do the square knot, then come back here and you'll be set to make this market bag. Let's not waste any more time and let's jump right on into this thing. For supplies, you're going to need macrame cord. I picked this one up on Amazon. I had never used this one before, but I was really happy with it and it was a great price. So I will link that down below. You will also need some scissors. You're also going to need some ribbon. I mean, you can use macrame cord, but I wanted to use this ribbon. I picked it up from Michael's. It's kind of like a little crocheted look to it. And this is going to be our handles. That way we don't have to bother with the difficult part of making handles. We're just going to use this ribbon. You're first going to cut your ribbon in lengths of about 2 feet. And then I took this E6000 and I just glued the ends together, and that will be our straps. I wanted to keep this as easy as possible. I'm not good at sewing. I mean, if you don't have glue, you can legitimately just tie them together, but this is what I did, guys. I used that strong glue and I just glued my straps together. Next, you're going to take your macrame cord and cut it into, are you ready for this? 32 pieces of cord, and each cord is going to be 6 feet long. I wanted to quickly say that I'm sorry that I'm super raspy. I'm recovering from a cold, so that will explain this beautiful voiceover for you guys. Once you have your cords cut, you're going to place 16 cords on each of your ribbon straps. You just simply fold the cord directly in half and loop it on. If you do need to know how to do this loop on, I do have it in my 3 basic macrame knot tutorial. Now comes the fun part. We get to finally start making our knots. We are going to start with a full row of square knots. I'm doing this on the table, and I actually looped my strap around one of my plants to kind of hold it in place, so you guys can do the same thing, or obviously you can make this on the wall. But we are going to do a full row right across of the square knot right up at the top. Once you've completed your first row, you're going to come in with your second row, and you're going to keep these square knots nice and tight and close together, and you then are going to do a third and final row, keeping them nice and close. Once you're finished with one, you do need to go ahead and repeat that process on the other strap, and then we get to combine them. I'm going to show you guys this on the table for now before I hang them up, because I think it'll visually help you guys. But what we're going to do is we're no longer going to have the square knots nice and close together. Instead, we're going to go about 1 inch down, and we're going to do this for basically the rest of the bag. And we're going to combine our 2 cords on either end to make a middle square knot connecting the 2 straps, and then we're going to continue that straight across with a nice row of square knots. Again, it's going to be about 1 inch down. When you finish your first row, you should have 2 cords on either end that are left off. And once I hang it up, you guys will see that I am going to combine those 2 cords together and make a square knot that will make then the whole bag into a bag, not just a flat piece. So yes, but I'm holding off on doing that simply so I can show you guys this connecting part. I'm working from the middle again, and you're kind of taking that initial connecting square knot, taking 2 of the cords from that and 2 of the cords from the square knot next to it, and again going about an inch down and starting your second row of square knots. And you might have to fiddle with the length because it's kind of in a curve, you know, kind of that U. So it's okay if it's slightly imperfect. Isn't all macrame slightly imperfect? But yeah, so you're gonna continue this combining motion until you get to close to the end, but I do need to hang it up really soon because I won't be able to finish this second row until I finish my first row. If you're making it on a table like me, now is the time you need to hang it up. You should have 4 cords left out on either end, which means it's time to hang up. I have this just hanging from one hook, both straps are there, and it's kind of just folded on top of each other, so you can still kind of open it up right now, but we need to begin combining our cords to finish off those rows. Go ahead and grab those 2 cords and complete your first row that we were doing on the table. Just tie that final square knot to finish off that first initial row about an inch down, and you should see it lining up with everything else once you tie it. Now to complete that second row, there should actually be 2 missing square knots to the second row with the way things worked out on the table. So go ahead and tie 1 square knot and then move on to the last. And now we have a full round bag. So we just have to continue this process of working in a round motion. The easiest way to do this is to simply kind of still try to work in those rows. So we're going to add another row to the one side, add another row to the other side, and then combine the square knots on the ends. I actually like to start from the end. I think it's a little easier to work that way, and I just kind of work in this round motion. You're simply going to continue this process of adding rows of square knots. By the end, you should have the 3 rows of the tight square knots up at the top, and then you will have 6 rows of the square knots that are about an inch apart. Here you can see my completed 6 rows of square knots. It really actually doesn't matter if you have extra cord and want to do some more rows, that's all good too. We are now heading into the final stage of this project. We're going to complete one final, I guess, 7th row. That's about an inch down. So I guess if you want to look at it as making 7 rows, that's totally good. So complete one sort of final row that's an inch down. Once that is complete, you're going to go ahead and start on the second row, only we're going to be repeating sort of what we did at the top. These square knots are going to be really nice and tight and close together. This kind of creates a really nice bottom of your bag. To me, it makes it feel more secure and nothing will fall out. We're then going to go in and add one final 3rd line before we tie everything together because we are running out of cord. To finish off this whole bag, you kind of turn your bag to the side, find the very 2 end cords, and this isn't complicated, guys. You simply tie them in a knot. I even double knotted each of them, but you're essentially finding the mirrored cord from the other side and just tying them along the entire bottom of the bag, combining them, and yeah, if something doesn't feel secure enough, just knot it again. Once you've knotted the entire bottom together, you're simply going to cut the excess cord. I did leave a little bit just in case anything loosened in my knots. I wanted to be able to have just a little extra to tighten a knot or retie a knot. I forgot to mention that if you like the fringe hanging, you can 100% leave it. You could cut it into a little pattern, do whatever you want, but I cut mine because what I do is inside out my whole bag, so it looks like this. The little fringe just kind of sits at the bottom, and here's the finished product. That is it, you guys. I am beyond happy with how this bag turned out. Seriously, I was blown away. I was blown away that it turned out so wonderful, actually better than I had hoped. And I hope that you guys will be able to make your own and use it at farmers markets and the grocery stores. It'll make a great gift for a friend. It's just so cute. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. As always, you guys can subscribe for more of my everyday life. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at EmilyFaith22. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.